morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the badass Buddha Lori Monaco. I am solo for now. Gladiator Guru is just coming into town on her Camino. She will be on shortly. So I figured let's get started so that we can start conversation. She said she doesn't have a lot of battery life left. So hopefully when she gets on, she will be on for the entire time. Happy Tuesday. It is May the 7th. We hope that you had a wonderful weekend. It was the 4th on Saturday, so hopefully the 4th was with you on Saturday. And then Sunday was Cinco de Mayo. So we hope that you celebrated, you enjoyed, and you lived. That's the whole point. Good morning, Kathy. Thank you so much for being here today. And Kathy's on both. Kathy's on YouTube and she's on Facebook, so we really appreciate that. All right, so we are in the push month. This is the month to really get things moving, to really get things focused, hyper-focused, and pushing you in the direction that you are meant to be going into. So today's conversation is how to push that tush. Good morning, Tiffany Bryan. So I want to say this, that Thursday's show is going to be the anniversary show. We've been on for 4 years. We're in our 5th season, but we'll be celebrating 4 years. And we want to say thank you to those that sent in messages. We didn't get a lot, but we got a few. They're great. And the interesting thing is they're from the people that come on the most, which is fantastic. And I love, Kathy, your video is great. I love how you hear the wind chimes in the background. That's so awesome. And Tiffany, oh, yours is so lovely. Yours is just so lovely. You're so mellow. You look fabulous, lady. And some of them are funny and heartfelt, and we just really, really appreciate it. So we're going to be rolling that compilation video that we had our friend and tribe member Francia create. Francia is the one that did the opening for the show. So we're going to start posting that today. So stay tuned for that. You'll be able to see yourselves for those of you that sent in videos. And they're only parts of your video, but at some point also throughout from between now and next week, we're going to be posting your full video. Okay. And then hopefully we'll be able to create something special for Thursday's show. I know we have a couple of things that we're going to do, and Gladiator Guru will be hopefully making it. Hey, look at you. You look like a nomad.
I am so cold.
Is it cold there?
It's chilly, yeah. I'm cold. I'm tired. We walked, and hello, first of all, hello, beautiful badass Buddha, and everybody on the tribe. Good afternoon. And Iris wounded her knee really bad, so we got here. I couldn't charge, so my phone will be dying, so I won't be on long. And my apologies to all of you. But looking in the middle of nowhere for a bus because she just couldn't. Finally, this lady picked us up and gave us a ride to the bus stop. And now after the show, we're gonna go to the hospital here.
Oh my goodness. What happened? Did she fall?
No, we were doing the day before yesterday. We were doing a lot of coming down the mount, down the
Yeah.
and she must have turned it the wrong way because it's on the side of her knee. The pain, that's excruciating.
Is it on the inside of the knee or the outside of the knee?
The outside.
Okay. Yeah. She could have had a ligament injury, sure.
Yeah. So, but
Or
I
it could
wanted
be a cartilage injury too.
in this. That's on a building. I think that's so beautiful. So yes, I have my apologies to you all. Thank you all. Is it swollen? Yes, it's swollen on that side.
Okay. All
She
right.
has it strapped up, but we'll just go to the doctor. That's it. So yes, hello everybody.
How much did you walk over the last few since we last saw you on Thursday?
Oh wow. 15 miles one day, 12 another, and then it was a short village stop. And that it was raining that day, so I think that day we only did 11 miles. And of course today's the shortest day. 4 miles.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we've been tracking it. It's been good. We've met wonderful people. Today we're walking real slow, and a van beeps and stops, and I thought I was in his way, and it was a guy that I met that owned an albergue back in 2017. So that was a great, and I'm looking like a vagabond. And he's like, "You're a pilgrim. Don't worry about it." He's hugging me, and it was like I can still smell him, so that felt good.
Oh, that's wonderful. And you have your cafe con leche with you?
Yes, the lady just brought it out and gave me
Oh,
the Wi-Fi because I was like, I
I
can't
sent
get
it to
on. There's no
you. I
Wi-Fi.
sent it to you on your
Oh,
the
okay.
minute I walked in.
But
how's
yeah, so
how's Iritza feeling? Iritza, how are you feeling? How you
I,
feeling?
I'm in pain and but I'm feel more emotional. I've been mushy because I don't want to stop. And so I've had the cries all morning. And because I go up the stairs and I'm good, but then coming down it hurts so bad. So
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed, but I'm proud. I've done much better. We haven't fought that much.
so that's a plus. No real big arguing. I said this camino's about us. She's like, go ahead, I'll be there. So
Well,
it's
all right,
good.
since considering the fact that your battery is on the lower side, let's get you mostly into the conversation. And let's talk we're today is how to push that tush. So why don't you give real life examples of what this Camino is like and how is it different than the past ones? What's the push like for you this go round? Is there more of a push? Is there less of a push? Is it easier? Is it harder? And what a pushing their tush means to you.
Well, I can say for that, I can use it for the rainy days because your body just don't want to walk in the rain and in the dirt and going through the valleys and everything. So you just gotta. Iris sings to herself, and I just recite like I can do anything through Christ that strengthens me, or it's like walk through the pain. And I just think that when you push forward, pushing through the rain, it's hitting you, it's uncomfortable, but you get somewhere. Like you can't stop until you get somewhere. And I think if we adapt that in our everyday life, like it's so easy for us to say, "Oh, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yes.
Uh, I'll go over there tomorrow." And here, there's none of that. You cannot stop in the middle of nowhere. You have to push through it. And I think
Yep.
that's been, I don't even want to say it's a challenge. I just want to say it's been the biggest push. It's like I can't stop, regardless of how I'm feeling, what the weather's like. And I just got to keep going till I get there.
Yeah. Like
And
my last walk, I was like, let's meet at the first.
but this time, it's to me, it's been much easier. I climbed the inclines much better. There's really been no, my calves been hurting, and the front of my thighs were in so much pain the other day, and I said, "Oh, I went through levels of the tissues. I'm doing good," because that's how you, it's like when you're doing a workout. But I think it's overall, it's been better. From what I remember, this part of the Camino, from when I first did it, it was warmer then. It's been really cold lately.
Is that good or bad, the cold?
It's okay, except when you're now after you when you're walking, you don't feel the cold. But when you stop right now, it's like, oh my God, let me roll everything up. So it's like I got two shirts, the sweater, the scarf. I got this on.
So why do you think it is that we so you said you're on the Camino, you can't stop. Why do you so what makes it different for you and meaning you but like all of us
Hmm.
with pushing yourself there and like what do we get caught up in?
Excuses.
And is there anything else? Is it just excuses?
I think it's just because we have been so ingrained to just, oh, we could do it tomorrow, to leave everything till later. That even if it's something we're walking through the kitchen, I don't know who's guilty of this. I know I have been. And let's say there's dishes in the sink, but you had already got up from one place and say, I'm going to go to the room and fold laundry. Yeah, I'll do it later. And so I think if when I'm here, there's no later. There's only now. And I think the hardest thing, even for me, is going to be is when I go back is adapting that into everyday life again. Because every time I leave a camino and I go home, I'm good, but then I fall back into that routine,
Yes.
and I
Right.
don't want to. And
Right.
that's what I've been meditating on. That's what I've been roaming through as I'm walking. Is how am I going to make a difference in my life when I go back? How am I going to adapt this way of living that my now is all I own?
Right.
We get too comfortable and then we get filled with excuses.
And the other, and I love how you said, um you only have the now. That's all there is right at that moment. You don't know what the future is, with the exception of maybe, you know, registering for where you're going to sleep, you know, that night, because you have to book it. But other than that, you don't know, because like this, you didn't know that you were going to have to stop. You had a plan and it changed and you shifted accordingly. And so the question I put up there is, why do we fall back to that, to the routine? And the whole point of today is to how to push that tush is, how do we stop falling back? Because the one thing that we do not have any extra is time. And
Oh,
and it seems that the older we get, the time runs faster and faster and faster. And we make excuses to say, "Oh, I'm too tired. I did enough today. I need rest." Granted, we do need to honor ourselves and make sure we rest. But when do we have to be very mindful of the fact that, are we saying we need to rest, or are we just saying that because we don't want to do anymore and we just want to stay a little stagnant, or, and we just can't do anymore, you know? And so it's a matter of being, it's clarity. So how's your clarity as you're going? I love how you said you're asking yourself those questions, like, so that you, when you come back, you're not going back into that routine.
well, I think there's so many layers to unlearn of routine life that we lived. There's so many layers I have to unlearn. um I'll give you an example. Friday, was it Friday that we were in Najera? Friday or Saturday? And that was a long day walk, so we sent our backpacks ahead. Well, they never made it. They never got picked up 24 kilometers before.
Oh my
So
gosh.
the first time we thought that it didn't make it, it was in the garage. So then I had told Iris, we decided she needs to put all her medicines in her day pack. So she did do that. So we're there and we're like, no backpacks. I called. They're like, well, those, they weren't there. Like, I had to tell them, man, listen, do not tell me what I did and did not do. This is what it was. Blah, blah, blah. So he goes, well, I can't bring it to you now. I can take it wherever you're going to tomorrow. So I called the place, verified that they were still there, called them back. Everything was lovely. So the lady, she was from Canada. She was like, "Are you girls freaking out right now?" I said, "No, but do you have blankets? Because we didn't have our sleeping bag, nothing." So we're like, "No, this is all we have." When I said that, I felt like, so I was like, "No, we're okay." So she told us where to go to the bazaar. We went. We bought a pair of panties, a T-shirt, a toothbrush. Um, I got peroxide. We got one bar soap so we can share. We each bought little towels, like kitchenette towels, because we weren't gonna bring them with us. And we went back. Um, we went to stopped at the grocery store. We went. We cooked our own food there. We took a shower. Iris walking around the albergue in a T-shirt that came mid-thigh with her peonies. We had to buy peony liners because I always wash my underwear before I put it on, and we couldn't do that. And it was lovely. The next day we aired out the clothes we walked in that day. We aired them out. Next day, put on our same clothes that we came in the day before, and we walked on to the village where our bags would be. And they were there. So any other time you could have like freaked out, like, oh my God, I don't have no soap. No, we went to the it's the Chinese store. Everything was, or like a toothbrush was 90 cents. The soap was 90. Everything was cheap. So Iris found some sandals in the donation box there. I bought some $2 flip flops, and we donated. I donated the T-shirt and the flip flops back for someone else who might be going through something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like you're doing it without even thinking about it. Like, no, why would we freak out? It's not here. There's nothing we can do about it. There's no reason to freak out. So that's it. We took our shower. We washed our hair. We went to sleep. We had blankets that the lady provided. We were fine.
That's a great story. Like, that's a great story for a lot of reasons, but especially for resilience. The fact that you just redirected, like, why, anybody else would have freaked out. I think as calm as I can be, I think I would have been a little worried. I would have been like, oh my God. But I think it's just wonderful because you trusted in the process, and that's a huge thing. And I think that's part of the push. Is part of the reason I think sometimes too is why we stop pushing ourselves, is because we lose our vision. We lose the faith. We lose that trust in that process. That, oh, it's taking longer. Like, why is it taking this long? I'm getting frustrated. So you push yourself less. And
Mm-hmm.
then the cycle begins, because then all of a sudden you're not moving forward as much as you were or as fast as you were. And then time keeps going, but you're not. And then when you finally pull yourself out of that little crappy headspace that you're in, you wake up and you're like, dang, if I had just been pushing myself, I would have been, blah, blah, blah already. And then we wallow in that even longer, because we're like, oh, if I had just kept going, why did I stop? Blah, blah, blah.
And
Um,
yeah,
and then
that's
that's not healthy, because we just sit there. There's no forward motion.
no. And Kathy asked if it's a Kathy. I've always done it in May, but it just seems a little colder this time. I don't know. Because even when I did the Portuguese route, it was hot. Like we could wear our short sleeves as we walked. And compared to the December one, I think it feels just as cold as it did in December right now. But that could just be me. I don't know. But um, the scene, everything's beautiful. The villages, the people seem nicer to me this time around. I don't know. It could just be me. It could be that I'm more open to people, although I don't converse with everybody because I protect my energy. And you know me, badass. I don't like to just have stupid chit chats. I like intellectuals. And last night we had dinner with two men from the UK, and it was fantastic. We stood there for hours sitting at that bar just talking. He bought Iris a glass of wine. I didn't want to drink, and it's just that. And the one I was talking with, 70, a retired detective who now works with helping children, and it was just a remarkable conversation. So I'm open to meet and sit with everybody and anybody, so long the conversation stimulates me, and that's what pushes me. I don't have time to waste time. And as we get older, we realize we don't have time to waste time. So
Yes.
take that trip, buy that dress, you know, get that tummy tuck, do whatever it is that you want to do. Do it now. Stop putting things off for you, because when we don't push our tush to do what it is we want to do, it's because we're pushing everybody else's
Yeah, that's a
in
good
some way,
point.
shape, or form. And then that's why we're exhausted. That's why we're like lethargic, like, oh, I'll do it later, because you gave everything away from the top of the day. So we have to learn to say, I'm going to allocate this time to anything outside of me. But it's not, again, selfish. It's being selfless towards the only person that you're responsible for, really, which is you. Because if you don't take responsibility in totality for yourself, how are you going to be there for your children or for your spouse? Look, I
Yes.
didn't even do that. So I think that pushing your tush is getting up every day with an intention.
Yeah.
do it with intention. And we every day, sometimes like my battery, before I hang up, every morning, like today we're staying at a parochial. There's the church behind me. That's where we're staying. And our ass has got to be out of there at 8. So every morning, whether we feel like it or not, it's intended. The intention has been set that we have to get out. And once we're up, we're moving and we're out. So, and the day starts, and you can't, oh, what a day. You can't do that. You have to set an intention. I'm going to make it. We're going to walk it. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to stop at the first village. We're going to have a nice breakfast. And then we're going to keep going. So I think subconsciously, I'm thinking that I started that when I signed the lease for the studio, because it was an intention that every day I had somewhere to go and something to do.
Yes.
And I think if you pick up a hobby, if you, like I said, allocate an hour of your day to listen to a podcast that's going to stimulate you, that's going to light the firecrackers up your ass, then do it. Because I've been listening to all the elder people when I speak to them, and they always say, well, I listened to a podcast the other day. And some of them do that as they're walking. And sometimes it takes hearing it. Like Iris was forwarding this message of this lady speaking, and I'm listening to it, and I'm listening to it. I say that shit all the time, and nobody listens. I know, that's why I sent it to you. But then the minute they hear a stranger saying it, it's like, oh my God, how powerful what she was saying. So that's why I say Iris and I haven't been arguing, because this is my camino. And whatever Iris is doing and how she's doing it and what she wants to do, that's totally her camino.
Yeah, that's
So,
none of your business.
and I set that intention before I came, and we spoke about it, and I said, listen, but yesterday when she hurt her knee, and there was like a lot of inclines. So I tried to stop and wait, and she was, I feel bad, just go. So the last part of the leg before we got into the village, it was a big incline that curved, but I just kept going. I went. I told the people that I reserved with, I'm here. I'm just going to wait outside. And then as she's coming up the little pathway, there are pathways like that into the village. You see that?
Yep.
So she's far away, so I'm standing up and I'm waving to her from the bar tables. And she came up, sat down. Lovely. It was lovely. And I think we honor each other by doing that. We respect each other by doing that. And we push each other to be better each day of the walk. And when you find something like that, that's good. If you can't really push your own tush like where you want to be, find a tribe member that's
Yeah.
going to be there.
Yep.
Call somebody. Listen to Viva Cafe con Leche. I mean, come on. It's all around us. It's what you choose to listen to, what you choose to tune into, that's going to stimulate you enough to want to be better, to want to go further.
How
It's
much
all.
how much time do you have on your what's your battery looking like?
It's in the red right now, but we can
Okay.
keep.
So I just want to say that I was going to let you do all that talking, and then I was going to go into a little bit more detail with what you just said once
Go
you
ahead.
get. No, I'm going to wait until it goes. But I do want to say this. You said something so important. You said about we waste our energy, not waste, but we use our energy for other people, pushing other people. And here's the irony, and it took me so long to figure this out, that if we want to push other people, we have to push ourselves, because that momentum pushes them. And you just proved it by what you said, because you said, I'm pushing myself, and I'm not worrying about what Editha's doing, and we pushed each other. Because you did yours, you focused on you gave her inspiration to keep going. And then when you saw her coming, she gave you more inspiration and validation to keep going. And that's the thing that we just took so long to figure out. Those of us that have children, we're like, oh, I got to help my kids. I got to push this. I got to help that. How many times we wasted that time? Maybe not on them. It's not so much a waste, but like on adults in our lives, significant others that aren't even in our lives anymore. Friends that just sucked so much of our energy because we were pushing them and forgetting about ourselves, and then having scraps to pick up when it was time for us to push ourselves. And again, the irony is that all along the answer was that we have to push ourselves, and they will follow if that is their path. If they're trying to guilt you and make you feel like, well, what about me? And how come you're not taking care of me? And blah, blah, blah. I always say that if they're over 18 and they don't have any health problems or significant like challenges that they did not create, mind you, they're grown ass adults. Even if it's your children, they're grown ass adults. They need to do it themselves. You have to keep pushing forward. They're either going to keep up with you or they're not. And unfortunately, that's their choice. And granted, I want my kids to be with me, but I've noticed that it's more inspiring to my children when I keep moving forward and they see me focused and moving forward than constantly, worrying about what they're doing and trying to figure things out, because then they just get mad at me after a point in time and say, that's not how I want to do it. This is, this is my life. It's not yours. And they're absolutely right.
It is. You look great, by the way, badass.
Oh, thanks. The tan.
I think Kathy wrote, wow, light bulb moment. I think we need to light our own light bulbs.
Yeah.
And see the brilliance that we possess. And, we're especially as life coaches, we're constantly meeting people and reminding them what their value is. And that if they just believe in themselves a little more, they can do it. But what we got to understand is that's us giving energy. But when they smile and they take what you say, it's a transfer of energy. You see, so it's not so much with whom you speak with, it's with whom appreciates what you say, because the transfer of energy is going back and forth, as opposed to somebody who's so filled with negativity or just don't want to hear it because that means change, and people fear change. Then it's just zapping you of your energy. And I've come to again on this walk, pushing myself, you have flashbacks and you're like, oh, but it's like I've always said here on the show, I give everybody a that I meet. I meet them where they are, and then I decide where to place them. And that's where we have to become more aware, like the show has been since January, becoming more aware and holding ourselves accountable as to what extras we have to offer and give, and where are we wasting. And I think pushing ourselves to believe in ourselves and to protect ourselves is the most important, because when you protect yourself, you're valuing everything you have, and you're very selective as to where you're giving it away. Because when you're open, oh, I'm just kind-hearted, and you just give it away, what are you left with? Nothing. You drop. You're in a fetal position on the couch all day because now you have no energy.
That's right.
You have no desires. So we have to be very careful. We have to be very protective. And when we're pushing, make sure you're pushing to fill your cup before you start pouring into anyone else's.
That's right. That's right. Because it's about it. So you said about the bulb. So this is what I wrote. If we light our own bulb, we shine light on our path for those that are walking alongside us. They too can benefit from the light to see their path with more clarity. Because because they're walking alongside you doesn't mean they're on your path. It's just, you always see people a long way. And especially when it is family members, sometimes like your children, they can walk up alongside you. But if you are focused on shining your light on their path so they can see where they're going, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to trip. You're going to trip on your own path. And depending on the person walking beside you, they could just keep going. They didn't even know you fell because they're too busy taking care of them, which is what they wanted to do, And the thing is that you also said about pushing, and we'll talk about this in a moment, is that sometimes you can't push yourself. You have depleted your energy, even if it was focusing on yourself, not that you were focusing on other people. That's where accountability partners come in. That's where having tribe members, we have a tribe here at Viva, but each one of us has our own little tribe. You know, like I have my business tribe, I have my client and patient tribe, I have my friends tribe, and all of them serve a different purpose for me. And when I need assistance, I know who to go and ask because it's my friends tribe, you know. If my other friends need assistance, I know to help them, you know. And when I'm high and up and moving freely and pushing myself with ease, it's much easier for me to help other people push themselves because I'm positive, I'm optimistic, I'm inspired. And then those people will in turn push me at some point, you know, because it isn't easy to do it alone. And I don't think as humans we were ever designed to do things by ourselves. It's not saying you can't have that solitude moment. You know, how many times have you walked the Camino, Gladiator, who are by yourself? You know, how many people do you see walking by themselves? That is true. Their walk is their journey is of solitude. But when they get to their destination, which is their overnight stay, they have to be around people. They have to have a place to stay. There's very few people that could just do that Camino and camp out, I'm sure, that just
Yeah.
they're by themselves entirely.
But what I've learned, and what everybody talks about here, they always say the Camino provides, and that's what happened when our mochila didn't come. You know, the Camino provided. You meet people, and they're very good, and they direct you. But the one important thing that they say is listen to your body and rest, and don't feel guilty, don't feel shame, don't feel anxious that you're not where you're supposed to go. We don't take that time to rest. So when we feel agotada, when we're depleted, um, we keep going. And that's what I kept telling Iris, don't feel bad. You know, if we have to bus it to the next stage just so that we're not skipping a beat, then that's what we're going to have to do. Because the body needs to rest, to
Yeah.
rejuvenate.
Mhm.
And sometimes we don't allow ourselves that because we think of it as a luxury. Oh no, it's not bedtime. So if you don't have anybody to go to, um, an accountability partner or somebody to say, I got you, what do you need? Rest, lay down in a comfortable position and just clear your mind, breathe, listen to your heartbeat, and rest and let your body perform the magic that it does so that when you rise, you're rejuvenated. That
Yeah.
is very important. And you hear everywhere. The natives tell you when they saw Iris, limping around, oh no, you got to rest, go to the doctor. You can't do this. You got to rest. It's going to get worse. Just rest your body, rest your body. So even Camino members, and I told her that from the jump, you can't do that because everybody who's really bad, there's people that have already had to go back home because they got hurt because they're like, oh, I'll just walk to the next town. I can make it. I can. What are you proving? Sit your ass down
Yes.
and rest.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going nowhere. So I think people, they read so many stories, they've watched so many videos, they've listened to people talk about the camino. Like somebody said something about the backpack the day we were waiting for ours. Oh, you didn't carry yours? And I said, no, I'm carrying enough pain, trauma, and sorrow that I don't need to carry my backpack to prove that I'm a pilgrim because then that backpack and those long walks is going to cause me physical pain. So what am I doing now? I'm focusing on my physical pain and I'm not healing my internal pain.
Oh,
So walk my
that's
camino and you walk yours. Okay? Because people need to people have this blinders on of what's the camino. Then I'm like, oh, how many caminos have you walked? Oh, this is my first. In my mind, like, shut the fuck up then. You need to be telling me nothing. This is practically my fourth. So, and you know me, I have no, I don't care where, you're not going to come at me any kind of way because, again, that's protecting my energy. And sometimes, you just let shit go. And sometimes when they're like, oh, you're not carrying your backpack. Well, no, let me get this straight. Let me push your tush a little, my love. Okay. And because then I'm teaching them something too. Now, next time, they're going to think before they approach another pilgrim like that. You see, so maybe them coming to me saying that maybe for the first time had to be me so that then I can address them the way they did and they can learn, oh, well, maybe that person's healing in a different way than I am. Because the caminos for many different, pilgrims. Everybody's here for a different reason. So, and I said it, and we talked for a while. She was cool. Like she caught it afterwards, you know. The, but she was Australian, but she got it. So now going forward, she's going to approach somebody in a different way. We're teachers and students every day of our lives. So when we purposely ignore something because I don't want to get involved, then you're missing a very pivotal highlight that also stimulates you to continue forward. So I see me that I don't have a problem addressing anything, and I didn't say it like I said it more in a teachable way. Listen, I don't need. I said, you see this? No, there was a pilgrim, an original pilgrim, a metal one. And I said, have you researched the Camino? The first pilgrims to ever walk this for 100 years. They never carried a backpack. They left their house with their Jesus sandals on, their frock, a bag with bread, and a bag with water. And then I pointed to the pilgrim. She's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. Boom, boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lesson of the day. People. So, but I look at it that we are responsible. We are teachers. We are students, and we're bringing light into the world. So we can't harbor any like. If I'm upset, why? So we're learning, and every day we learn, and every day we have to do better for humanity. It's not about just us and our family. It's for humanity. So if you can bring a little understanding to somebody, because then she goes, oh, but is this your first? And I said, no, honey, I've done this, and oh, the winter one. And she goes, oh, I thought it was your first. It's my first. So, I took it as it's just a lesson. It was a teachable lesson.
Yes.
And I had to remind people, everybody's here for a reason. But it's the honest to God truth, the grief, the sorrow, and whatever pain that I thought that I had out. That's what Iris does Iris and I do me, because this is really about ripping it out from the root.
Hey,
So
I have a question.
but I mean, like,
When you're walking, have you seen people crying or like letting stuff go? That have you passed anybody that's done that?
that's done what?
That they're like crying as they're walking, like
Yeah.
yeah.
They cry when they sit down. You see them. In when they're sleeping, you hear people. We've heard people screaming out with nightmares. We stood in this albergue, the one where they left our backpack. It was like a fucking sardine can. Like the passageway was this little. It was, and then we had to be in, and the guy was like on guard. And it was like a big fiesta that night in town. And we're like listening to it from the window because we couldn't go out.
I went out.
And the guys that were there, they were Spaniards, and one of them had the giggles, and then all of a sudden everything got quiet, and this lady on the next row just screaming out with the nightmare. And so I thought it was Iris because that's how close it was to me. And she looks down, she goes, I'm good. She was on the bunk above me. So yeah, everybody. I think that the beauty of a Camino that I would tell all of you, you included, badass, even if you do it for 1 week, I would say etch out a time in your life that you can come do this for a week. You will become a different person. Because remember, on my first Camino, I left all my rage here. I haven't felt like when I get that rage, very, very far and few in between. So the Camino, it does the body good, it does the soul fantastical. So yeah. Buenos dias, Ana and Marlene and everybody. I love you
Oh
guys.
yeah. There's a lot of
If
people that have come on.
guys in the midst of me talking, just know I love you guys. I love that you show up. The badass Buddha, thanks for holding it down. But I am taking the day off on Thursday so that there's no mishaps.
For our celebration, our
Yeah.
4-year anniversary. So yeah, we definitely want everybody to tune in for that. This was perfect. You exactly as you showed up today with everything that's going on and what you've been going through. This was like perfect for this. In fact, as you're talking in the beginning, I'm going, did we plan this like on purpose to call this the push month? And there you are pushing yourself in on the Camino. And the funny part was, I think we came up with the title like 2 months ago. And I think it was just a conversation, like you knew you were going back, but it wasn't even like thought. And but it is perfect. Like it's perfect for what you're doing, because that's all you're doing is pushing yourself. That's all you're
Let me
doing. And pushing yourself, but knowing when to not push and to rest, and knowing when to push. And there's a difference between resting and stopping. There's a
yes.
difference between resting to replenish so that you can keep going, and stopping because of fear and you can't go any further, and making excuses and you become stagnant.
Listen, being here is like, it's like this guy this morning made such a big difference. This afternoon, when I said, "Oh my God," like I'm like, he has to see me like this, and he met me like this because he was the owner of an albergue, and he's all cute with his beard and everything, and he goes, "You're a pilgrim. How else am I supposed to see you, right?" And so I'm getting on the show and I'm telling Iris, "Oh, I'm gonna look like this," and then I'm like, "You know what? The sweater. I'm here. I'm doing something for my soul. So it doesn't need that. This is just such a facade that we're like, oh, she looked awful today, or
I
it
think you look
doesn't.
great.
It, look, I'm looking at myself. I
No,
look
no,
like
I do. You look like
when
it's
he shrunk the head.
this what you look like today is perfect for what you're doing. That's like, as soon as you popped in, you got, you're dressed warmly, you're dressed like very like you've been walking. You're part of this. And then you have this beautiful mural behind you, the beautiful blue skies with the clouds. And it's just, like, it's making, I don't know about anybody else, but it's making me want to be there. Like I want to be like hopping on a plane and just go ahead and start walking. So it's, we didn't expect you to come with the diamonds on, although we wouldn't be surprised. That's just,
Diamonds yesterday after I took my shower. I said, I gotta be me just for
there
a
you
little,
go.
because although I'm doing this Camino for trying to understand her inside, I still need to feel like me. I need to be that gypsy. So Iris, I don't know if you see, Iris braided my hair all up front. So I have all braids up here. I got little clips. So I put like these butterfly clips on. I put the diamond on my foot. I'm like, fuck this shit. I gotta be Margie today, you know? And, and, and
Well,
that's so yeah, little by little. Listen, ladies, all you gotta do is understand who you are and know each and every one of us came with a purpose. We have such brilliance inside of us that we have yet to tap into. And for those who have tapped into it, I applaud you, because life is short.
yes.
We think we have tomorrow. We may think we can plan this a year or two away. But if you can do it now, if you can rearrange some stuff, then do it. Do something that's going to bring you such joy that if we make it to be 90 years old on that rocking chair on the porch, we can smile knowing that we did do, even if it was half of we set out to do. But we did it. We tried it. We tasted it. We smelled it. And that's life, really. It's not about what house you own, what car you own, what name brands you're wearing. It's about what are you doing in this lifetime that's going to bring you joy, yet leave a legacy for others to say, wait a minute, Margie used to do it this way. She was always smiling.
Yes.
That's the purpose of our being, is to to what's that word I want to say? Open the roads for those coming behind us, and by teaching
Yes.
them how life truly is simple and
Clearing the
infinite joy is for us to own. That was a promise. You got to find that infinite joy in doing the simple things in your life, but living your life to the fullest. And if that means you got to push, then you know what? Push, run, turn around, push, run up, turn around. If you got to be the only one doing it, you can do it, because that's brilliant you all are. Believe it.
because because it is said that the only thing that we regret in life is what we have not done. I've heard people say that they made they made a bad choice and it didn't go well, and they're like, I regret I did that. But the biggest regret is what was not done, not what you did. It's what you didn't do. And the more we wait, we keep getting older. We keep like doing like, okay, so Edith says, has an injury. Would she have had that injury if she had gone 20 years ago on the Camino? Who knows? Of course, it does increase our risk as we get older, because we're a little bit more out of shape. We're a little bit more wear and tear. But we also can't let that stop us. We can't say, oh, I can't do this because, like, this is going to be a problem because. Then do something about it.
Do something
about it. If you want to do this and you say, well, I don't think I can do it. Like, I can just hop on a plane right now and do it. Then do what's necessary to get you to that level to where you can. And listen to yourself and know when it's time to rest, know when it's time to go, but know thyself. We always talk about that. Knowing yourself. Okay, so they're going to go to the hospital. They're going to get her knee checked out. They're going to have to deal with whatever they're told that she has going on. Then they will make a decision. Editha will make a decision that's right for her, and Gladiator Guru will make a decision that's right for Gladiator Guru. And they could be just a day of rest, wrapping it up, taking a little pain medication or whatever, and then moving forward. And then maybe it's fine, maybe it's not. They won't know. They're in the moment, but it's a life lesson. Is this going to sideline Editha for the remainder of her life? Not if she lets it. She can just say, nope, I have to take a couple of days off. What's that going to mean to us? You know what, Gladiator Guru, you go ahead and walk if you want, and then I'll meet you at the next day. I mean, there's so many possibilities.
That's what we talked about. We talked about that. We already said it, even though we're going to go there. But before my phone dies, I just wanted to give a shout out. I know she's not on, but today is my daughter Tiffany's 38th birthday. So happy birthday, Tiffany. I haven't even spoken to her yet.
Your emerald.
Yes, my emerald. And yeah, you see, and things make it better. So Madeline said we caught to us exactly what we believe. Words are so powerful, Madeline. I read the whole thing. But let me tell you something. It's like Iris is every time she feels sick, she's like, oh, I'm dying. I'm like cursing. People say I curse. I don't curse, I use profanity. There's a big difference. When we say I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm dying.
Yep. Sticks.
I don't feel good. I don't feel like walking.
I'm not strong enough. I can't handle that.
You,
Yep.
you that you're not worthy. And I'm here to say, stop that shit.
Yes.
Unlearn how to speak to yourself like that. The
Yes.
word hard enough. Why do you got to go into battle with it? Take yourself. I'm like, I feel a little tired. Or, you know what? I feel a bit unwell, but I'm going to just keep going. Try to catch yourself. Speak to yourself with beauty. Like I was speaking to these two guys, wonderful guys walking with their dogs real quick before I die. And the guy was in the military. He said he suffers.
Before your phone dies, not you die. You just finished talking to us about that.
And I was telling him, he's like, yeah, I suffer depression. He's from Texas. He's been here for a while. And I said, well, I can give you one thing. Do you have passwords to your stuff? He goes, oh yeah. And I said, why don't you try creating a password like I have, which I spoke here before. Say, I am strong, I am important, I am powerful, I am all things I want to be. Create an email that every time you got to put your password in, you're speaking to yourself. One of my passwords is I am beautiful, and then I add a number to it. So when you do that, he's like, he's like, oh, I'm gonna do that. He's like, that would be so amazing every time I have to log on. It's like, wow, no matter what mood I'm in at the moment, when I have to type that, I said, exactly. So he took my information. I said, whenever you need to talk, call me. He's a beautiful kid, 32, military. He said he saw a lot, suffers a lot of depression. So, you know what? Do what you have to do to complete who you are at all costs. Because if not, that's the most expensive thing you have thrown away.
Yeah. That was beautiful.
Yes, you are worth it. I don't care where you're at in life. I don't care if you're sleeping in your car. You are worthy. I've been there, done that, have the t-shirt and the scars. You are worthy. So don't never forget to push yourself until you're exhausted, because we've had enough easy days in our lives, I think. And you matter and you count and you're worth it and you deserve it. You deserve to be there for you, not that anybody does anything for you.
And don't own it. Don't own your I'm not strong enough. I have and or disease. I have depression. I have this, the or my depression, my fibromyalgia, my cardiovascular disease. Don't own it. That's why I usually put the in front of it. I
The
usually
only
distance.
own is when people say your name, I say, I am Margarita. I never say my name is. I am Margarita.
Ah, that's true.
Always said that.
That's right,
That's
you do.
the claim. Or, and that I'm amazing. You know, I say it all the time. I'm amazing. It don't matter what size I am. I'm amazing because I can make it happen wherever I am. And you know what? There are days where every day we're not going to be high. So give yourself, give yourself what's that word I want? Um, Leeway. No,
Space
give
and
yourself,
grace.
yeah, space and grace. Thank you. That's beautiful. Give yourself some space and grace, because not every day you're going to be at the top of your game. But that's because you need to come down. Trust, trust your intuition. Trust the universe. Trust God, because that means sit your down for a while. You've been doing too much. That's the grace and space. Okay, and then when you rejuvenate, you get back up and you start off where you left off. Don't start a whole new project. That's something I'm learning. That's what I did with this trip. Remember, it ended in January, the death of the love of my life. And then I said, okay, I got to finish what I started. And I'm here now. Let me tell you, finances are tough, but I had to finish I this year. So I picked up at the same town where I left off in January. Why? Because that's me pushing myself.
Well, I just want to say this. We are at the end, and this is how beautiful this is. Gladiator Guru came with a red light on her battery, and it lasted the entire time. So that just speaks volumes. So let's end this before, so you
Yes.
can say your famous thing. And I also see a utility truck is pulling in my driveway. So listen, wonderful Gladiator Guru and Iritza, happy Camino. We're sending you prayers and love and healing, Iritza, so that everything is okay, that it's just a simple thing and you guys will be on your way. We all love you and thank you so much for sharing everything today, Gladiator Guru. From the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, mi gente, remember to breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste. Oh, wait.